In Fairfield County, something new comes across my desk every day. Crimes are committed, cases are solved, and a community is made safe by the hardworking employees of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LancasterOhio.tv. We're also carried by a number of radio affiliates along with the website, Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners, that join us each and every week. The program is actually taped at Fairfield Christian Academy. I appreciate the students here. Our executive producer, Kelly Roberts, behind the scenes, getting the guests together and lining up a lot of the questions. Do appreciate her good work behind the scenes. Today we have TJ Strawn.
Sure.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, sir.
And a 19-year veteran at Fairfield County Sheriff's Office.
Sir.
So that's a long time now.
Long time, but it goes quick.
It does go quick.
Yesterday, starting the paperwork, start the academy, and getting through it, graduating, and 19 years later, it's...
So 19 years ago, what's some of the biggest changes you've seen within the maybe the community and maybe even within the sheriff's office?
I think within a lot of the sheriff's office, it's the difference, the way I'd like report writing, I guess. Used to be everything was handwritten. Now everything we do is by computer. The only thing we actually write out anymore are maybe traffic tickets. Everything else is computer generated. Even how we're pretty much dispatch the calls through computers. There's been a lot of change, a lot for the good.
Right.
I think the job is getting tougher as it goes, as far as when it comes to dealing with the public. Things have changed a lot, but overall it's been a great 19 years.
And I think, you hear things across the country about, the community. They're at odds many times with the police agency. We really haven't seen that in Fairfield County. I think by and large, the community really supports the sheriff's office and the local police departments. I
agree with that 100%. There's, how many times you've been out to lunch at a restaurant or just pumping gas in my cruiser, people come up and just want to simply shake your hand and say thanks. I firmly believe that 99% of the people in this county support us and what we do. And it's, like I said, this is a great community to work in. I live in this community, and I grew up in this community, and I enjoy working here.
So where did you go to high school?
I graduated from Fairfield Union High School.
Fairfield Union. All right. Very good. Very good.
I don't know how long ago it was, but I guess it's been here 19 years. I mean, it's kind of... No, it's been a good community to live in. This community's been good to me.
And now your assignment, you were actually assigned to Job and Family Services.
I am assigned, yes, through Job and Family Services. I work closely with the CSEA. My main assignment there is to track down people that have warrants, serve papers for them, contempt papers, subpoenas, pretty much whatever they need.
And you're also part of the SWAT team? I
am. I've been on the SWAT team for, I have 11 years on now. I just recently got promoted to team leader. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
So what does a team leader do within a SWAT team?
Well, with the teams, we're divided up into an Alpha, Bravo, Charlie team, Delta team. We have teams that do entries on warrants, and then we have teams for containment. We have our snipers. So my job is I have a group of guys that are the entry team, or I guess they're combined also with containment. It's my job to, if let's say the major crimes unit wants to do a search warrant, they'll bring the paperwork to me. I'll go out, I'll scout the residence, and then I go put the mission together. We use a certain format and a formula, and then I go through, and then once we call all the guys in, and gals, we have a few females on our team now, then we put the mission together, assign everybody, plug them into where they're at. Everybody is trained on every job on SWAT, whether you're going into the entry team or whether you're doing containment with less lethal. So everybody, it's nice. You plug them into a job, they know what to do, run the mission, and they'll come back. We sit down, we debrief it, and then I type up an after-action report, and go from there.
It's probably one of the most dangerous assignments, or it can be, within the sheriff's office. What do you say?
It can be. I have I guess a picture hanging up at home that says, when the cops call 911, they call SWAT. So I always kind of like to say that we deal with the worst of the worst.
Right.
That's why we train. That's why we get all the extra body armor, the bigger guns, I guess, so to speak.
Right. And our SWAT team, unlike bigger organizations where they have a SWAT team in place all the time, our SWAT team, the deputies are assigned to a lot of different assignments, and then if there's a need, they're called in, right?
Correct. So we have every deputy. We also have 4 officers from the city of Pickerington, their police department. And then we have 3 tactical medics from Violet Township Fire, which is in Pickerington. So we all have assignments, have other jobs. So for the most part, sometimes we know in advance that, hey, tomorrow just be ready maybe this time. But a lot of times, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're laying in bed, your phone rings, and you have to go.
Right. There's some hostage situation or somebody with a gun, they will come out.
Yep, so you got to be ready. It's 24-hour a day assignment. And then obviously there's just sometimes you just simply can't make it, or guys can't make it, and you work with the manpower you have and go from there.
Now, one thing that's certainly been timely, and I know you've done a lot of training on this, is recent shootings. Whether it's a church they had in Las Vegas, the cars that in New York City. So there's been a heightened awareness of the dangers. And so a lot of the training that you've done within the last couple of years has been about active shooters and those things.
There's been a ton of churches, businesses, a lot of organizations that have reached out to us, especially over the past probably 6 months, wanting us to come in and speak to their organization about how do they respond to this, or as a law enforcement agency, if God forbid this does happen somewhere in our community, how do we want them to respond once we show up, or how do they protect themselves? We just recently did all of our annual in-service training for all of our deputies, and we were kind of refreshed everybody on that, the active shooter, on how as a department, our protocol, how we respond to it. So we got everybody through that, and it's becoming more and more common. And people think of it a lot as the violences with guns. Looking now, they're using vehicles. You've seen a lot. Just in New York City. So it's unfortunate that it's come this way, but it's keeping us busy, and I feel we kind of feel a little obligated to brush our community up on how to protect themselves on this stuff because it's becoming more and more common.
Now, and we've talked about this before airtime. About a couple years ago, we did something at Fairfield Christian Church where we called in and offered it to churches. And even then, we probably had 300-400 people that came on that evening. So we're probably going to do something like that again. And the training that we do, just kind of run through some of the things that we talk about during the training.
Some of the things, it's mainly a lot of it too. So some of the churches have like a security group. We'd like to talk about the weapons. If they are carrying, places to be seated within your organization. They're only as good as the gun. They have to train with it. We teach them basically how to distract the shooter, how to get away, or if you're not able to get away, what you need to do there. Know all of your exits. It's about, it could be a couple-hour presentation that we do. It's very informative. We're hoping here in the next few months to get another class put together.
And one thing that years ago, and I think Columbine probably changed this, is the way we were taught 20 years ago. If there's some kind of an active shooter, if there's something going on, you kind of get the perimeter, guard the perimeter, you call SWAT to come in. But now we know that these shootings take place in 3 to 5 minutes, it's over. So the way we train today is the deputies get on the scene, the police officers, they go right in. There's no waiting today.
And that's what, just like I said earlier with the training that we did with our own deputies this year, it is. And it used to be, I know when I went through the academy, it was you got on scene, you waited till minimum of 3 people. You would form a T or some kind of quad, and then you would go in. Meanwhile, there's people inside that are, about losing their life, or they're being victims of this crime. So now, the FBI come back, especially after the Virginia Tech shooting, kind of opened the eyes up to American law enforcement that the way we're responding to these, it's wrong. Even the FBI come out with statistics saying that it's flawed, that our training needs to be updated. So now, and that's what we are training our guys. You're the first one on scene. You better go in. You have to go in. And that's, we're equipping our deputies with a lot better equipment. It used to be just a pistol and a shotgun. Now we're training them on the assault rifles. I've heard a lot of, it's not, to bash, I guess, the news media, but we're militarizing our police with, giving them assault rifles. And I like to think that we're modernizing our police. I can go to any gun shop down the street here and buy an assault rifle for a few $100s, and that's a lot of firepower, and you can do a lot of damage pretty quick. And for me to go in and have to take care of that with, maybe not the assault rifle that they have or a bigger weapon that they have, I like to think that, like I said, we're modernizing our police on how to take care of these, because their old tactics, they just simply weren't working.
And one thing I try to remind our deputies about is the likelihood of something happening, whether it's a school, whether it's at a church, it's very unlikely.
It's very slim.
Or at a theater, mall, and so we don't want to panic the community. We don't want people to be paranoid if they're going to church, if they're going to school, because the reality is it's just like an airplane crash. It's very remote. But what we've come to learn is these things can happen anywhere, any place, any time. So we have to be prepared. And certainly the people have to understand that if they see something suspicious, to let somebody know. And I was at the Y actually yesterday, and there was a person in there, and they had a backpack in the athletic part of it. And I was just a little uncomfortable with the person. He had a big backpack. He was kind of messing around with it, and I really kind of was keeping an eye on the guy. And it turned out to be nothing. But I think if people, any of our viewers or listeners, see something that they're suspicious, let somebody know. Call us. Call the police. We would rather go out 100 times and have it be nothing than that one time where the system. I don't want to bother anybody. I'm not real sure I'm comfortable with calling in on this person, and then something tragic happens.
I think you get that a lot. People, I didn't want to call you. Well, I'd rather you call me, like you said, and turn out to be nothing. And you're right. It's not to scare the community to think that, this is going to happen. It can, but like you said, the likeliness of it happening is pretty slim. We just want people to be aware. And I think as, wearing a uniform every day like we do, we're more susceptible to thinking this is going to happen because this is all we think about. Right. This is all we train. This is 8 hours a day of our life.
Yeah. I spent, until her death, we would go to my grandmother's house. She lived out in the Johnstown area. She lived had a small farmhouse out there, and every Christmas Eve I was there until her death, and she passed away when she was actually almost 100 years old, and at that time I was in my 40s, but I'd never not had a Christmas Eve that I wasn't with my grandma. Yes. And so that was kind of like our tradition as a family, and I've got a lot of wonderful memories. And a few months ago, we went by and they had torn the house down. It just broke my heart. It was out by Lynn's Fruit Farm. I said, "Oh no, the house is gone."
Yeah, it's like I said, there's traditions, I guess, and memories. Some of the little things I always tried to do with my kids when they were younger, and just something as simple as leaving whatever out, something for Santa, and those traditions now they just kind of look at you.
And there's a lot of things that you guys do, like for some of the Shop with a Cop, and then the SWAT team's been involved in some things during the Christmas season.
So I did already this season, Shop with a Cop at the Target store up in Reynoldsburg. Was paired up with a 12-year-old girl, and thinking that she was going to take the money that they gave her, she was going to buy something for herself. She went out and bought for her family, and then it kind of made my day. When we was checking out, she had a couple of dollars left, and she threw a pack of gum down and said, "Here, I appreciate what you did for me." Nice? So things like that, yeah, we get to do. I enjoy doing that. Our SWAT team every year, we help the Salvation Army out. They help, a number of families. So we go in and help carry all the stuff out to the their cars. And so some of the traditions there, as far as on our job, we get to do it, it's good. It's fun.
And typically, when I was with the patrol division many years ago now, but Christmas Day actually was kind of a slow day. It was typically, but you never know.
You never know. For the most part, it is slow. Every once in a while, you do get a little busy. I kind of say jokingly,
people drink more during the holidays.
It's kind of it's the one day a year that maybe the families get together and they don't. But yeah, for the most part, holidays are pretty quiet for us, and which I don't mind.
And nice. I think we would be remiss to remind folks that please don't drink and drive. It's just we see it all too often where we see these tragedies, and people tend sadly to consume more alcohol during the Christmas season than probably any other time of the year. And so with that comes more drunk driving, more fatalities, and certainly domestic disputes within homes.
We tell the people, go out and have a good time. Just you have to be responsible about it.
Right.
If you're going to be out, find you a ride home. Call family member, friend. There's taxis, Uber is a great thing. So just be responsible about it.
TJ, appreciate you being with us.
Yes,
TJ Strawn, 19-year veteran of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office with our training, SWAT, works with Job and Family Services, and has done a terrific job. I appreciate you. And you've just done a great job over the years. I mean that sincerely.
Thank you.
Well, we're just about out of time. I do want to, again, thank the students here at Fairfield Christian Academy behind the scenes, J.T. Burcham, the instructor of the class, and certainly you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week, our executive producer, Kelly Roberts, and all the men and women of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Wish you and yours a very blessed and Merry Christmas. And again, let's not forget the reason for the season is the birth of Christ. Until next week, same time, same place. God bless. If you're driving, buckle up.